Hi everyone and welcome back to Adventures in Collecting. I'm super excited for today's unboxing. This is something that we saw at Toy Fair and something that I've been waiting for a very long time. I of course am talking about the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figure from McFarlane Toys. So if you have been watching us on social media or listening to us on the show, you know Dave and I are huge fans of McFarlane Toys and the Spawn franchise. We got to talk to Todd at Toy Fair as well as Ty Butler about what they're doing, and we first got our hands on this figure. We were able to hold him in the packaging at Toy Fair, and we're very excited to receive him. So it's been a long journey of waiting for him to get here through the channels of Amazon and the delays and of course all of the things that we have going on in the world, but I am super excited to open him. So my order came in, and without further ado, let's get him open and finally get to hold an unboxed version. Very excited, very excited. So typical of the McFarlane figures. Real quick, inside the box you can see we have the base and a super cool Mortal Kombat logo boxed very similarly to the Scorpion figure. Some awesome photo work from friend of the pod, Ty Butler. Yeah, gorgeous stuff. The inside cardboard slides right out, so that way you can get to the base with the Mortal Kombat logo on it. Yeah, as I mentioned in before on social media, we posted pictures of actually my original 94 Spawn figure, and I'm so excited for the Kickstarter. I'm so excited for this figure. I can't wait to have him. I don't know if you can kind of see him up there, but back there on my ever-growing McFarlane shelf, I have my Clown 4 figure, so I'm very excited. Let's get him out of this this plastic, and we'll keep opening. All right, so I've got him out of the packaging here, along with his single accessory, this super cool Spawn sword that he does use in the Mortal Kombat game. Again, this is his Mortal Kombat likeness, voiced by Keith David, returning from his job on the animated series from HBO. But this is a gorgeous, it just feels so good to hold this figure in my hands. It is such a gorgeous figure. It is that more modern Spawn look with the giant boot, and a slightly more manageable, smaller cape, but the fabric, the plastic on the cape, the rubber, is very flexible. It's not going to hinder articulation at all. Which, speaking of which, let's get into the articulation. So on the box, it does say that Spawn has 22 moving parts. So I'm not going to keep count. You can do that. But of course, we hit the head. He can look down pretty considerably, menacingly. He can look up a good amount. Left, right, yeah, usual stuff. The cape is permanently molded to his body, which in this case I think is actually nice. The cape isn't huge and cumbersome like some of the other Spawn capes. As we saw with Kickstarter, the Spawn cape will have articulation, so that's something fun to look forward to as well. We do have a little bit of a butterfly joint here built in underneath the cape, which does extend the motion of his arm just a little bit. He does rotate at the shoulder, of course. He rotates at the bicep, so you get an additional rotation there. He does have the double jointed elbow. Of course, it's not going to articulate super much because he's got a ton of different features on his wrists and biceps. He does bend at the wrist and rotate there. He has a pretty good ab crunch, so he can lean pretty far forward, pretty far back. He has a double articulation actually on the torso, so the lower articulation and the mid articulation. You get a pretty good rock back and forth. With the hips, Spawn can do a split, so He can do a split. That's great. He does have a double jointed knee, which has some pretty far-reaching articulation. He can almost kick himself in the butt. Let's try it with both feet. A kneeling position with him will be no problem. Of course, the one leg does articulate back a little bit further than the other because of the big boot. And then like we're accustomed to with McFarlane figures, we get the bendy toe. We get the toe joint, which is a nice little touch for crouching positions, and the rocker and rotate at the ankle. So overall, absolutely incredible figure. The chain details are a nice soft rubber, so they do have motion. They don't hinder anything. Can he hold the sword with both hands? My guess would be absolutely. Let's see if we can get it in there real fast. The fingers are a nice movable plastic. Just I'm not having a struggle to move them out of the way to get the sword in one hand. And I'm just going to position it in front of him. We're not going to actually, yeah, with a little bit of fiddling, he could definitely hold it with two hands. His hands both reach the sword without problem. The paint and detail on this figure, it goes without saying, like the stuff that you get from McFarlane is always killer in that territory. Just kind of like the sinew of his costume is there, the shading on the back of the cape and on the inside of the cape. It really, while it is rubber and plastic, it really does have that kind of look of leather, which is just fantastic. I can't wait to get a Marvel Legends gun in his hand. Either some of the extra stuff from Deadpool. I think I have some extra guns lying around. I know that the Kickstarter one will come with a gun, but for me, Spawn is he's got to have some sort of rifle or some sort of weaponry. If it's not chains or his cape doing the work for him. He's got that super high collar. Everything about this figure is, to be honest, is blowing me away. We've waited a very long time for a super articulated Spawn, and we got him. Here he is. So this is an obvious thumbs up for me. If you are able to get him, there is a second variant version of him in the works where I believe it's going to be the same figure, but instead of coming with the sword, he's going to come with a mace. So keep an eye out for that. If you can't catch this in stock, follow us at AIC_podcast on both Twitter and Instagram, where we're always posting toy news. If we see him come back in stock anywhere, we've shared it before. Toy Shiz is another great follow for that. Anytime we know how much everybody wants this figure, and it's definitely worth it. So if we see it come back in stock, we'll be sure to share. But make sure you check us out on the podcast. We're live every other Monday. Wherever you find podcasts, just search Adventures in Collecting or hit the link below in the description. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button so that way you keep catching all the fun stuff that we do here with our toys and all the fun guests that we have on the show. So with that, I'm Eric signing off. If you can find this guy, definitely get him. Definitely worth it.